The night pressed against the windows of the Frontier Bar, a dim refuge on the edge of known space. Sergeant Jaewon Park sat alone, his presence both unremarkable and quietly intense. The bar's dim lighting caught the edges of his battle-worn combat jacket, a testament to countless missions across distant star systems. Yejin Kim moved between tables, her movements practiced and efficient. She had seen countless soldiers pass through this establishment, some returning, many not. The bar itself was a melting pot of forgotten dreams and temporary hopes, a place where interstellar travelers found momentary comfort. The bar's interior buzzed with a low hum of conversation. Alien patrons from different star systems clustered in small groups, their translator devices flickering with multi-language exchanges. Holographic displays flickered softly near the corner, displaying distant planetary news and trade routes. Jaewon's fingers traced the rim of his drink, a local brew that burned with the intensity of frontier spirits. His eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned the room without seeming to move. Years of military training had taught him to be aware without drawing attention. A group of miners from the Proxima colonies laughed loudly, their conversation punctuated by the clink of glasses. A small robotic server moved between tables, its programmed movements precise and mechanical. The atmosphere felt heavy with unspoken stories and hidden tensions. The bartender, Hee-jin, noticed Jaewon's unusual stillness. Most soldiers who passed through were loud, boisterous, trying to drown memories of distant conflicts. But this one was different. He carried silence like a weapon, his presence both calm and dangerous. Outside, the planet's twin moons cast strange shadows across the bar's reinforced windows. Nova Centauri was a harsh world, where survival meant constant vigilance. The frontier was unforgiving, a place where technology and human determination fought against an endless landscape of challenges. Jaewon's hand unconsciously moved closer to his plasma carbine, carefully concealed, but always within reach. His muscles remained relaxed, but there was a coiled energy about him, like a predator waiting, watching. Years of combat had transformed him into something more than just a soldier. The bar's ambient temperature shifted slightly, a change most patrons wouldn't notice. But Jaewon felt it immediately. Something was coming. Something that would transform this ordinary moment into something extraordinary. His military-enhanced senses picked up subtle vibrations. The robotic server paused momentarily, its sensors detecting something beyond human perception. The miner's conversation dropped a decibel. Something was approaching. Yejin's hand moved subtly beneath the bar, where an emergency communication device waited. She had seen enough to know when danger was near. The bar's atmosphere changed, becoming charged with an electric anticipation. Jaewon's breathing remained steady. His mind was already calculating potential scenarios, escape routes, defensive positions. This was more than training. This was instinct honed by years of surviving impossible situations. The first hint of trouble came as a distant metallic sound, a low, rhythmic vibration that seemed to penetrate the bar's very structure. Alien patrons began to shift uncomfortably. The robotic server's lights flickered. Something was coming. Something dangerous. And Sergeant Jaewon Park was ready. The frontier. Bar held its breath, suspended between an ordinary moment and the promise of extraordinary violence. Outside, Nova Centauri's harsh landscape waited, indifferent to the drama about to unfold inside this small, fragile human sanctuary. The moment stretched like a thin glass about to shatter. The bar's reinforced doors exploded inward with a thunderous crash that seemed to compress time itself. The Zarkak's predator emerged, a nightmare of biomechanical engineering that defied natural laws. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, the creature moved with impossible grace. Its exoskeleton gleamed metallic gray, shifting and adapting like liquid metal. Sensory clusters blinked and pulsed, scanning the room with cold, calculated precision. This was no random attack. This was a hunt. Alien patrons froze. Some species actually began to turn transparent, a biological defense mechanism triggered by pure terror. The miners who moments ago were laughing now pressed themselves against walls, their survival instincts screaming silent warnings. Ye-Jin's hand touched the emergency communication device, but something told her it was already too late. The predator's presence consumed the room's atmosphere, turning oxygen into pure fear. Jae-Won's hand moved imperceptibly closer to his plasma carbine. His muscles didn't tense. They coiled, like a spring waiting to release. Years of combat training had transformed him into a living weapon, reading threats faster than most could comprehend. The Zarkak's predator's sensory clusters began scanning each living being. Its hunt protocol was active, searching for something specific. Random destruction wasn't its goal. This was a targeted mission. Robotic systems throughout the bar began to malfunction. Holographic displays flickered and died. The small serving robot sparked and collapsed, its circuits overwhelmed by the predator's electromagnetic field. 3 alien patrons near the entrance made the fatal mistake of moving. The Zarkax's molecular disruptor appendage moved faster than human eyes could track. In less than a second, they were reduced to molecular dust, their existence erased without ceremony. Jae-Won's enhanced vision captured every detail. The predator's movement patterns, its sensor placement, potential weak points, all processed in milliseconds. This was more than observation. This was tactical analysis. The bar's internal temperature dropped 10 degrees. Frost began forming on metal surfaces. The Zarkax was generating a localized cold field, a hunting technique designed to paralyze prey with systemic shock. Ye-Jin remained behind the bar, her body low, watching. Something in her stance suggested she was more than just a simple bartender. Her hands were steady, her breathing controlled. The predator's sensory clusters suddenly locked onto Jae-Won. For a moment, everything stopped. Human and alien locked, in a silent exchange of potential violence. No one moved. No one breathed. The frontier bar had become a hunting ground, and survival was about to become very complicated. Jae-Won's fingers brushed against his plasma carbine. Not drawing, not threatening. Just ready. The Zarkax predator took one step forward. The hunt was about to begin. In that moment, everything changed. The quiet frontier bar transformed from a place of temporary refuge to a battlefield where species would clash, where survival would be, determined by skill, courage, and the unpredictable nature of human determination. Jae-Won knew one thing with absolute certainty. This predator had come looking for something. And he was going to find out exactly what that was. The first movement would define everything. Outside, Nova Centauri's twin moons continued their silent watch, indifferent to the drama unfolding inside the small, fragile human establishment. Harsh winds swept across barren landscapes, carrying nothing but dust and distant echoes. Inside the bar, time seemed to hold its breath, waiting. The silence shattered like broken glass. Jae-Won moved first, not with aggression, but with calculated precision. His neural implants flickered to life, combat systems engaging with millisecond accuracy that defied human limitation. The Zarkax predator lunged, its molecular disruptor appendage slicing through space where Jae-Won had been a fraction of a second earlier. Military training wasn't just about strength, it was about prediction, about understanding the enemy's movement before the enemy understood itself. Ye-Jin dove behind the reinforced bar, her movements suggesting more than just civilian survival skills. Something in her quick, practiced motion hinted at a deeper background. She grabbed a maintenance plasma torch, converting it into a potential weapon. Jae-Won rolled across a nearby table, using environmental objects as tactical shields. A holographic display crashed to the floor, its fragments creating momentary visual confusion. Each movement was a calculated dance, transforming the bar into a complex battlefield. The predator's sensory systems struggled to track Jae-Won's unpredictable movements. Human combat tactics were nothing like the linear hunting protocols programmed into the Zarkax's neural network. Randomness became a weapon more dangerous than any physical strike. Alien patrons had either fled or frozen. The bar's interior became a war zone of shattered furniture, sparking electronics and desperate survival. Jae-Won's combat jacket, seemingly ordinary moments ago, now revealed advanced tactical modifications, adaptive camouflage systems blending with surrounding surfaces, one molecular disruptor appendage sliced through a metal support column. The entire bar structure shuddered, creating additional chaos. But J1 anticipated this. Each structural change was another tactical advantage, another opportunity to redirect the Predator's attack. His plasma carbine remained holstered. Physical weapons were secondary. Right now, movement, understanding, and environmental manipulation were his primary arsenal. The Zarkax's hunt protocol began to malfunction. J1 wasn't behaving like standard prey. He was rewriting the Predator's understanding of combat in real time. A maintenance panel near the bar's emergency exit suddenly opened. Heejin's hand reached inside, revealing a set of modified communication devices. Her movement suggested military-grade training, carefully concealed beneath a bartender's exterior. J1's neural implants began transmitting tactical data, not a call for help, but a comprehensive analysis of the Zarkax's systems. Each movement, each attack became a data point, slowly revealing the Predator's fundamental weaknesses. The bar's internal systems began to respond. Emergency protocols triggered by the massive structural damage started creating additional environmental challenges. Automated fire suppression systems, power regulation mechanisms, structural stabilization protocols, all became potential weapons. 1. Of the alien patrons previously frozen in terror, suddenly moved. A small device activated near the bar's secondary entrance. For a millisecond, electromagnetic interference swept through the room, momentarily disrupting the Zarkax's sensory systems. J1 seized that millisecond. His body became a weapon, more sophisticated than any technological construct. Years of combat training transformed into a fluid, unpredictable dance of survival and tactical engagement. The Predator realized something crucial. This wasn't a hunt. This was a fight for survival, and humans were very good at surviving. Outside, Nova Centauri's harsh winds continued their endless song. Inside the bar, a different kind of battle was being written, a story of human resilience, tactical brilliance, and the unexpected nature of survival. J1's eyes locked with the Zarkax Predator. No words were exchanged, no dramatic speeches needed. Just pure, calculated determination. The real battle was just beginning. The bar transformed into a living battlefield. J1's first strike came not with a weapon, but with pure tactical intelligence. He grabbed a liquor bottle, smashing it against the Predator's sensory cluster, creating a momentary chemical disruption that compromised its targeting systems. The Zarkax roared, a sound that was part electronic screech, part biological rage. Its molecular disruptor appendages sliced through metal chairs and support columns, turning the environment into a constantly shifting combat zone. But each destructive movement became another tactical opportunity for J1. Heejin moved with unexpected precision. She activated hidden emergency systems, triggering power conduits that created localized electromagnetic pulses. The bar's internal structure became a weapon, transforming from a simple drinking establishment into a complex combat environment. J1's neural implants processed information faster than human consciousness could comprehend. Each movement of the Predator was calculated, predicted, and countered before it could fully execute its attack. He wasn't just fighting. He was rewriting the rules of engagement. The Zarkax's hunt protocol began to malfunction. Its advanced sensory systems struggled to predict J1's movements. Human combat wasn't linear or predictable. It was chaos made intelligent, survival transformed into an art form. A maintenance robot, previously dormant, suddenly activated. Its programming hijacked. It became an additional distraction, creating multiple potential threat vectors that confused the Predator's tracking systems. J1 had turned every single object in the bar into a potential weapon. The creature's molecular disruptor appendages continued their devastating attack. An entire section of the bar's wall disappeared, revealing the harsh Nova Centauri landscape outside. But each destruction became another tactical advantage for J1's combat strategy. Alien patrons who remained watched in stunned silence. This wasn't just a fight. This was a demonstration of human adaptability, of turning certain destruction into a complex dance of survival. Hyejin triggered another system. Emergency coolant began spraying from hidden nozzles, creating a chemical fog that interfered with the predator's advanced sensory systems. The bar became a living, breathing combat environment. Jaewon's combat jacket began releasing sophisticated countermeasures. Adaptive camouflage systems, localized electromagnetic disruption fields, technology that transformed a simple piece of clothing into a complex defensive mechanism. The Zarkax realized something crucial. This hunt had become a fight for survival. One molecular disruptor appendage sliced toward Jaewon. He moved, not with traditional defensive techniques, but with a fluid motion that turned the attack into an opportunity. A maintenance pipe was severed, releasing high-pressure steam directly into the predator's sensory clusters. The battle wasn't about physical strength. It was about intelligence, adaptation, and the human capacity to turn any environment into a weapon. Jaewon's neural implants continued processing, transforming each moment into a complex tactical equation. The predator's attack patterns were being decoded, analyzed, and systematically dismantled. Hyejin activated another hidden system. A series of power conduits began overloading, creating localized energy surges that interfered with the Zarkax's biomechanical systems. The bar itself became a living weapon. The creature's rage became more pronounced. Its attacks became less precise, more desperate. But desperation was another tactical opportunity for Jaewon. One final strike would determine everything. The bar held its breath. Nova Centauri's harsh winds continued outside, indifferent to the battle unfolding within this small, fragile human establishment. Jaewon's eyes locked with the predator. No words were needed. This was a language of survival, of tactical brilliance, of human determination. The real battle was reaching its climax. The final moments arrived with brutal simplicity. Jaewon understood that survival wasn't about overwhelming power, but about transforming weakness into strength. His neural implants calculated the predator's final vulnerability. One precise moment would change everything. The Zarkax's biomechanical systems had been systematically compromised, not by brute force but by intelligent disruption. Hyejin's hidden systems delivered the final tactical advantage. Emergency power conduits overloaded, creating a massive electromagnetic pulse that targeted the predator's central processing units. The bar's entire electrical system became a weapon more sophisticated than any traditional military technology. The creature's molecular disruptor appendages began to fail. Each movement became slower, more desperate. Its hunt protocol collapsed, replaced by pure survival instinct. But against human tactical intelligence, even survival became a losing strategy. Jaewon moved with calculated precision. A maintenance torch from behind the bar became his final instrument. Not as a weapon of destruction, but as a precise surgical tool designed to dismantle the predator's critical systems. One strike, perfectly placed. The Zarkax's biomechanical structure began to collapse, not with dramatic explosion, but with a systematic shutdown that revealed the intricate complexity of its design. Each system failed in sequence, a technological death, more precise than any violent destruction. Alien patrons watched in stunned silence. This wasn't just a battle. This was a demonstration of human potential, the ability to transform any environment into a weapon of survival. The bar itself bore witness. Destroyed furniture, sparking electronics, chemical residue from tactical disruptions. Everything told a story of human resilience. When silence returned, the predator lay defeated, not destroyed, but systematically neutralized. Its complex biomechanical structure reduced to an intricate piece of non-functional technology. Jaewon stood amid the destruction, his combat jacket revealing multiple tactical modifications. Neural implants continued processing, analyzing every millisecond of the encounter. This wasn't just a victory. This was data collection, tactical learning. Hyejin emerged from her defensive position. Something in her movement suggested she was more than a simple bartender. Years of hidden training revealed themselves in her calm, calculated assessment of the situation. The remaining alien patrons looked on with a mixture of shock and profound respect. Humans were not just another species. They were adaptable, intelligent, capable of transforming certain destruction into an opportunity for survival. Outside, Nova Centauri's twin moons continued their silent watch. The planet's harsh landscape remained unchanged, indifferent to the drama that had just unfolded. Emergency communication systems began to activate. Distant signals would soon arrive, requesting detailed reports. But Jaewon knew the true report was written in the destroyed bar, in the defeated predator, in the simple fact of survival. One of the alien patrons approached, translator device, struggling to communicate complex emotions. Respect, wonder, a fundamental understanding that humanity represented something more than just another galactic species. Jaewon's neural implants began compiling a comprehensive tactical report. Every moment of the encounter would be analyzed, learned from, integrated into future combat strategies. The bar's emergency system started automatic repair protocols. Broken furniture would be replaced. Damaged electronics would be fixed. But the story of what happened would remain. Hyejin began cleaning her workplace, her movements suggesting this was just another day. But her eyes told a different story, a story of hidden capabilities, of survival, of human potential. The Zarkak's predator lay defeated, a testament to human tactical brilliance. Humanity had triumphed. Not through overwhelming force, but through intelligence, adaptation, and an unbreakable will to survive. Another story would be told in frontier bars across the galaxy. How one human soldier transformed certain destruction into an extraordinary victory.